I often get asked, what are the best beginner 3D printers? Well, this is it, the Bambu A1 Mini. These are almost plug and play these days, and I'll show you what I mean once I get into the software and show you how easy it is to use these things. You got a great touchscreen right here, which makes it easy to start, pause, do whatever else you need to do on these, and you've got a little print bed that allows you to print just about every project you would want to print. Yeah, they have bigger ones, but really for what you want to do, most of this will work. It also has a version where you can get a multicolor spool filament holder. Here you can see 4 different colors, so if you want to rotate through different colors, you just have to throw it on here and it will automatically feed through the tubes and down into the printer. Alternatively, they do have a single version, which is about $150 cheaper, that will mount on the back of the printer and feed directly into the hot end right here. Really easy to work with. The only other thing you really have to print is over here on the side, this little basket. When it feeds out all of the plastic, it's going to have to spit it out somewhere. Basically what we're saying is if you're printing with yellow and you're switching to white, that's going to bleed over. There's going to be a lot of yellow left over here in the hot end. It's going to have to push it all out. In order to do that, it's going to have to stick these little things out. We like to call this poop. This is filament poop that it sticks out. And you can specifically see on something like this one where you've got some filament here that is changing colors as it changes from one color to the next. It's got to go somewhere. This is, to me, kind of a design flaw, but they got lots of things. That's the nice thing about having a 3D printer. You can print a lot of stuff to be able to modify this if you need it. That's really the only modifier I have. Makes it really easy. These are really fast, really easy to maintain printers. I've only had a couple of issues with this and it was a super easy fix. Great community, easy parts to get within a couple of days right here in America. Makes it easy to do this. Now they have a larger version printer that you can get right over here. This is the A1, not the mini version. You'll see it's basically the same style printer, just bigger. This is going to be a larger print bed. You'll see this is 256, by 256 by 256. The other one was 180, if I recall. So, working off of millimeters here is what we're talking about. This is basically 10 inches. This is going to handle almost every project you want to do, only if you're doing really, really large things, in which case you can actually shrink it in your program and change things and cut it so you can then assemble it later. Same setup where you've got 4 different spools if you want to use that, or 1. I like having 4 colors for the main reason that if I have a specific thing that I'm going to print, I can easily switch between the colors. For example, here's something that I often print, these different name tags. And you can see they've got one color on the bottom, another color on the top. It means I don't have to manually go in and change that. This is going to do it for you. So if you're ever going to want to print between 2 colors, get one of these. It's an extra $150 and it's kind of worth it in my opinion. To be able to automatically change the colors out without me having to do anything, that's great. Now you're going to truly have some awesome 3D printed multicolor projects that these will really help you do in switching off lots and lots of colors. But this is really about all that you're going to do is single colors anyway. These start at $200 right now on their website. Great opportunity. You can step up even further, come over here to this side, and I've got the Bambu Lab P1S. This is fully enclosed. Same size print bed as the A1, which was 256. It's got a door to be able to keep heat in. That's only going to really matter if you're printing with special materials. It's got another 4 filament holder up here at the top that you can get, which operates the exact same way. If you're worried about space, these are kind of the best ones to get because they have a much smaller footprint overall. Now there are mods you can do with this where you can take it and mount it up on the wall or mount it up here on the top. I haven't done that. I might do that one day, but these are definitely going to be able to shrink it down. But these are going to be more expensive than the A1 series. So can you get it? Sure. Do you need to get it? It's up to you. But honestly, these A1 printers are where you need to start. This is where it's easy. This is where it's going to work with just about every project you can do. And even if it's too big for this print bed, there's some awesome things you can do in the slicer or the computer program that allows you to be able to cut it down to shape, simplify it so that you can make it fit where you need to make it fit. Now, in order to get your files, your models over to your printer, you have to use a program called a slicer. It's literally called a slicer because it's going to take an object, any one of these you see, and slice it into layers. Now, Maker World is also run by Bambu Lab, same people that make these printers. Integrated into their slicer and on their website, you can come to here and browse through all of these things. Really easy to be able to hop into. Let's look at this simple bowl. Let's say we wanted to print a simple bowl for whatever reason. I'm going to come over here and press download and open. Right here in the program, it's going to download this and it's going to be right here for us to use. Perfect, amazing. The other nice thing, it's already going to take all the settings the designer used, so you don't even have to change anything. As a beginner, that's amazing because this literally makes it plug and play. Let me switch over here to the A1 Mini, and I'm going to use all of the settings that the person had. Come up here and slice it. It's going to take this entire model and slice it into layers because that's how the 3D printer works. It works by layers. It's going to print these things one layer at a time on top of each other. It's automatically got everything you need. Now, you'll notice over here, this green stuff, this is called support material. We're working with a curved object. Anytime you're printing with something that is in the middle of the air, it needs to support it. This is a pretty steep angle right here. So in order to not have any defects, it needs something to kind of support it up while it prints in the middle of the air. That's what that's for. This is a throwaway thing. When you're done with it, you'll just throw it away. Now, I had mentioned earlier, you might have some things that are a little too big. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Let's say that this is the actual size. Well, this isn't going to print. You'll see these gray spots here saying this won't fit on your bed. Well, what do we need to do? We need to either shrink it down, and I just came up here to scale, pressed S, and I can shrink it down if I want to do that. But let's say that is the size we want to use, but what do we have to do? Well, we can actually cut this. We can come in here, click the C button or come up here to cut, and we can cut it in different parts. Now this is kind of a lame one to work with, but let me just show you for the sake of what we're doing. I say I'm going to cut it this way. All right, now obviously I need to cut this one a different way to still make it fit. So I'm going to come over here and do that, and then do this, drag this one up here, and cut. All right, so again, this is kind of a lame example here because why would you cut a bowl in half? But you can see here what I'm working with. This allows you to be able to make it really easy to be able to cut these things and split your bowl or whatever object into printable features. Again, this is probably a terrible example for me to work with because you're never going to cut a bowl. But let's say it's a helmet that you want to use. Now all of a sudden you got that bowl, still going to be the same dimensions. You put some glue on there, it's going to be able to work a little bit better for you. Let me pull up a different model here that makes a little bit more sense. Something that I use for some of the models that I print. And I've got down here this pole, which fits just fine on a larger print bed. Let me switch over here to the Mini, and you'll see here that it's going to be too big for you. So you've got to come in here, and I've got to cut it. Now I've got two parts. Put a drop of super glue, and it works just fine. I also mentioned on here that you're going to have some things that are going to be multicolor. This makes it easy to do that. You can come in here and dictate what colors you want. There's some skill involved, and I can always help with that. But overall, if you're downloading things off of Maker World, these things are already going to be there. That makes it so easy. If you're going to take a model that is multicolor, you can easily do that just by clicking it, and it's going to download that model off of Maker World and already have the colors in here for you to use. There's some great things you can learn, some learning curves, sure, if you want to get into some of the settings, but all the settings are there from the designer. That makes it really easy to just basically plug and play. Go, hey, I really like this. Oh, someone's already designed it, and they've already put in all the settings. All I have to do is I have to load in my orange, my white, and my black, and it's going to be there. We can get into more details about what this block is, how the support material works, and how you can fix those things and trim them down a little bit, but ultimately, guys, this is easy. If you're looking for a 3D printer for somebody this Christmas season or birthday or whenever you're watching this video, you can't go wrong with the Bambu A1 Mini as of this recording. There's probably going to be better and easier ones in the future, but for now, God, this is great. I could print a little mini articulated dragon in 8 hours. It's going to be 138 grams, which for me at $20 a spool, that's going to be $3.47. That's how that comes out to be. Now, there's some things you can change with that, but yada, yada, yada. This is basically just showing you how easy it's going to be. Let me know what questions you have. This is easy to work with. Hopefully, this is easy for you to get involved to 3D printing as well.